It has been roughly 1 week since we heard from RichTheMan. He's largely been in the wild, but he now explains the full gravitas of the situation in our new feature, What Has Happened to RichTheMan.
Hi, yeah, I've not uploaded any content in the last week or so, and at the same time I haven't actually technically recorded a video or stood in front of a camera for about 3 weeks, which again, all will be explained in this video. It's kind of weird when you have a time away from the camera to then get back and record, and then trying to express things, which I usually am pretty well at doing, but constant takes are kind of weird to do, but let's try and explain some stuff. Now, the plan 3 weeks ago was to create a week's worth of content so I could theoretically down the channel so I could run the upgrade of the new tech. And this was meant to be my new computer, add a new editing software to it, make sure that I kind of knew what I was doing, and yeah, put together the PS4 content with the Elgato, move everything downstairs that I needed to, and create these 2 types of studio setups. And as things happen, it didn't happen according to plan. But now that that's all theoretically done, I'm still a week away from doing streaming from this setup that we're in at the moment with the new PC. It leads me on to the key reason that I had to step away for a week from doing this stuff, and that is work-life balance. Right, so some of you may know and some of you may not know, I have a full-time job. I go to work in the day and then come home and then do YouTube in the evenings. It is a long day. I start off at about 8 o'clock in work, and then when I come home, it's like grind in the evenings to about 11:30. And I joined a new company fairly recently, and I was sold flexibility with the position in order to pursue the commitment of YouTube. But it does feel, and you know, I'm not going to go too much into this because there's going to be a difference of opinion. And I've already said my piece with the company, and the company have said their piece with me. They wanted somebody that was able to do X, Y, and Z, and I said at the beginning I could only do X and Y. And you know, it's like yeah, when an unstoppable force meets an irremovable object, it's just boom. Yeah, it's like it's not, you're gonna fall out with one another on the subject. At the end of the day, I have total respect for them, but at the same time, it needs to be a two-way street. And again, they may feel completely differently about any kind of statement, and I won't be going any further talking about it, but I will be saying that because I'm not able to get the level of flexibility by saying that, hey, I want to make sure that I'm home at a certain time to do YouTube, and at the same time, I should be able to have and say no to stuff, and at the same time, I should be able to reclaim hours back, which it does seem that I'm not. It does mean that it causes strain on my channel and strain on me as a person, as I left a job with flexibility to go to one that seemed to promise it, but it won't be delivered for a longer period of time, which does make me question, and did make me question, a lot of things. And it did put me in a very negative mental state. Now, it's not all doom and gloom because I did come out of it stronger. I had great support from family and from friends, and it would have been good to kind of get out on camera and kind of speak to you guys. But the problem was I just was not in a right frame of mind to do it. So I'm back, I'm feeling better with myself, but I need your help. At some point next year, I haven't decided when, or maybe by the end of next month. Again, I don't know. I am going to look at several options, whether or not I take a part-time job and then push my YouTube channel further, or I just push my YouTube channel further. I'm going to just like work so hard at this to make sure that it delivers the best content that's fun, informative, but entertaining on a whole. There may be some scary things coming up which could affect the entirety of YouTube, and yeah, it's just really seeing what January brings. Okay, so the sort of scary thing is this to do with Article 13. If you are in the EU, you may have heard about this. It's basically the meme ban, the thing that's going to kill YouTube off. In essence, it's hard to explain this because, let me point this out now, there are a lot of blurred lines, things that it may seem that it's completely obvious, but really in all actuality, it's not, and it's really difficult to explain. I've asked Kabam about this because they will need, and they're very kindly, they're going to speak to their lawyers and see if there's any impact to Marvel Contest of Champions YouTubers. And people may say, well, I'm not in an EU country, will I be affected? And yeah, you will be. If it's the case that you watch me, you watch Seaton, you watch Killer Breezy, you watch Havoc, and any other European-based Marvel Contest of Champions YouTuber, regardless of Brexit, because in some ways I've heard that we could be still bound by some aspects of European law, which then would affect us. How it could affect gaming and Marvel Contest of Champions YouTubing is that if we upload a crystal opening or gameplay video or a live stream, it would be banned right there on the spot. So Kabam's lawyers are going to have a look at this, because I have asked them, because I do feel legitimate concern that this could be a big deal. But it's good to see that they care enough and they want people to make YouTube videos. Even though that we slate them, even though sometimes we criticize them a bit too heavily and we throw shade on them, you know, they do take it all on the chin, and they are willing to say, you know, we want you guys, YouTubers, not just the content contributor program, but everybody that makes Marvel Contest of Champions related content, have a voice, be able to make content. It's quite scary, but at the same time, I don't think this is going to be too much of a big deal, but you still got to look into it. And also kind of a further kind of in a nutshell thing, because maybe people don't understand. It's like this article here, because I'm using this article here as an idea, an example. This video would be banned. Also, I would not be able to upload the video that I'm making now, regardless of like most of the video not having anything that's copyright on it. This here, because it's part of a website that is not my content, because I didn't write the article, and even though if I choose to put the URL in the description, I still get banned. This video gets banned as a result. I've put details of a petition in the description below. Make sure you go and sign it. I think it's up to about like 3.5 million signatures, and it needs more. Contact your local MEPs and tell them you don't stand for this, or you say, like, how will this affect? Can you say that you will not go for this? Because this will kill things like memes, freedom of expression. It's a big killer, and it needs to be stopped before it gets too extreme. Now, what of the game and what of the grind? Yeah, it's not been a good time to kind of grind out for me in the game. And that is two things. Number one being my experience with my device. My device is terrible. I don't know why it just isn't responding correctly. The Wi-Fi that we've got, even though it's meant to be a good Wi-Fi, I've had boosters put in the house. At the same time, we've got a good supplier. It's not a good enough internet, and at the same time, the device is failing me. I am now pushing myself to get a iPad Pro in order to make sure that the playing of the game is a lot more smoother. The response, even when I change the sensitivity, hasn't been great. So that's the next step, is to get a better device. The second thing is that our alliance nearly crumbled. Right? It's kind of scary when that happens. So I joined an alliance a long time ago to kind of work alongside, like run as a parallel with my daytime job. So I was able to move in the mornings, move in my lunch break, and then move when I got home. Unfortunately, because of the problems that I've experienced with my current work, it means I cannot play quite as much as possible, which is then has implications and knock-on effects with the alliance. And at the same time, we had problems with people letting us down. That's why I did a big kind of recruitment drive through Marvel Contest of Champions News last month sometime. So that happened, where people would join us, not do what they were meant to, and leave. Old members not raising their game, which then failed us. We went from like normal prestige to then dropping down ridiculous amounts of prestige. We lost about 700. Oh, so scary when you can like think about 700 points, like war rating points, and it's like when that's happening, what do? Do you just jump ship to another alliance? And it's mid-season, so we pretty much messed up our season and were kind of going into Gold 2 and failing through that as we were trying to get members. And you know, that's being brutally honest. It's a scary point when that happens. Thankfully, we've now worked our asses off to try and get back up there, and at the same time, you know, push for where we want to get back to where we were. There was a point about 3 months ago, 2 months ago actually, where we said, right, we want to be pushing for Platinum 3, And then the trouble started, and then it just started getting worse and worse and worse. And you always have to ask a point to yourself, do you stay around? And the fact is, like, I like these guys, I get on well with these guys, and it's a friendship first. I'm not out for glory, no pun intended, but I'm not out for the kind of like that aspect. I need something that works around me, works around my lifestyle and what I'm doing. Doing the channel is important, and I don't want to have to constantly be moving whilst, like, for map 6 and stuff like that. It just doesn't fit well with my lifestyle, and that's why a lot of people would end up dropping down to lower alliances, because they want that life, that kind of easygoing stuff. They still love the game, but they want to keep it easy. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to do other content as well, so I would have liked to have done live streams for variant difficulty, as well as doing stuff with dungeons, but I just haven't had the time whilst I've been trying to sort myself out. And that's the hope, that next year I can now push towards making YouTube more of like a full-time thing. I've done the sums, and it's like, it is possible. It just requires like it's unfortunately a two-way process. So if you can give your love towards the channel and at the same time towards me, and likewise, I'll make sure that I listen to you guys a lot more and kind of push content. It's just been such a difficult week, but at the same time, I'm glad for it to be over and to focus on my channel again and being optimistic for the future. And all of this stuff seemed to fall around my birthday, which, you know, no one likes getting old or older, but at the same time, I was like, oh, you know, this is all I need. When stuff goes wrong, it goes wrong. And yeah, I'm like I said, I'm glad that it's all over now, and I'm more focused than ever to make things work, and 2019 is going to be a better time and a better year for me. I can feel it, and it's going to be the same for you guys. 2019 is going to be a better year, because 2018 for me was going really well up until a certain point and then started going really bad. So I'm hoping that this is the point in time where things change, and I'm excited for the future. So that has been the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, or hopefully you understood what has happened, and at the same time where we can largely go from here. The 26th of November, so tomorrow, I will be hitting this hard. This will be a big push to kind of get back out there with the channel. I'm really excited to be back and making content again, and hopefully you're along with the ride with me in 2019, because it's going to be a hell of a ride, and we're going to have so much fun and such a flipping decent journey. There's going to be fantastic content, and hopefully nothing happens with Article 13. But at the same time, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for the support with the channel. Thank you for all the lovely birthday wishes as well. It means a lot, and hopefully in a week's time we can be doing some live streams together. I've been RichTheMan, and I shall catch you in the next video. Bye bye for now.